There you go. If you pay attention to the screen on the camera, you can tell when you're recording and when you're not recording. And when you sit here and talk to a camera that's not recording, it's like, how blonde am I? Some days, the blonde is strong with me. Morning. My name is Audrey. I am Stitchy Witch 42 here on Flosstube and over on Instagram. And today is Monday, the 4th of April. I think it's the 4th. I'm pretty sure it's the 4th. I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. And I've got a lot of stuff to share. This is my channel on cross-stitch, life, the universe, and everything. And as I normally do, I'm going to be all over the place because my mind thinks linear from the last time I recorded a video. And, well, there you go. I just have to kind of try to think in order. Most of the time, that works for me. We'll see what happens today. So I want to thank you to people who've come back to visit me again. I want to say thank you to the new people who have come to visit me, who have liked and subscribed, and to the couple that said that they have to go back and binge watch me. Don't do that to yourself. Just don't. Just don't. I don't watch my videos, so one is enough, right? Whatever. Okay, so I'm going to start my video 2 weeks ago, the day after my last video, when the cluckers met up at the Beehive again. If you don't know who the cluckers are, you need to go watch Colleen and Cheryl. They posted a video that had most of us, but not all of us. The cluckers are Colleen and Cheryl, stitching with the sisterlies, Anna, Stitch Roadies, Becca, Sambry Stitches, Heather, Punky Pearl, Janine, the owner of Acorns and Threads, and myself. Did I miss anybody? Heather, Punky Pearls? Janine? Yes. And at this last meetup, we added a new person to the Clucker Society. And that would be Susan Stanley. She has a Flosstube channel. Susan Stanley, A Stitch in Time. Go check her out. The woman has a lot of knowledge. But we were up there and we visited and we laughed. We worked on projects. We had some lunch. And I took a little gift up there to pass on to Heather and Janine and Susan because they hadn't been at the Clucker meetup at Cheryl's hen house. What I took up to give to them were some of the little I Survived COVID teepee roll needle cases that I made and that I did a tutorial on. These things are cute. You know, they're silly, they're funny, they're recycling, and they've turned something that would go into a landfill into something that's useful. I mean, it started out being useful, and then it got emptied. But anyway, this is one toilet paper roll. This is half of the other one that makes the little needle holder. And I took these up, so now all the cluckers have their very own I Survived COVID teepee roll needle case. If you want one of these, go watch my tutorial. Seriously, they take like 15-20 minutes of your time to make, and they're cute, and they're fun, and they're recycling. And one of the people who has watched me for a long time, Cindy, sent me a message on Instagram. She made one for a friend of hers. And I'm going to try to remember to post a picture of hers at the end because she personalized it for her friend, but it's a great way to show you that you can do whatever you want with these. I mean, come on, this is paper on a toilet paper roll with glue. You can decorate this however you want. And Cindy did an awesome job of the one that she made for her friend. So we were up at the Beehive. Like I said, we were laughing, we were chatting, we were working on crafts, we had some lunch, and then Becca and Susan were leaving to head over to Acorns and Threads. I went with them, but in my own car. And Janine must have left right after us because I'd only been in the shop over there for a few minutes when I saw her there. So either she left directly after us or she knows a shortcut. It was quite the journey from Anna's to Acorns. I now understand why she and Cheryl get lost. I didn't. Just saying, I didn't. But while I was at Acorns, I did some shopping, and I thought I would share with you now the things that I got. I hadn't been up to Acorns since before Christmas, and I had asked them to kit this up for me and to put it on hold, and I tried to get my husband to buy it for me for Christmas, but he had other ideas. So I got Emily's Bliss, and I got the linen and the silk conversion, and everything is all there. Everything that I will need. There's floss bling in there, there's floss cards, there's silk, there's the little wool ball, there's felt for the top of the drum. When this came out, I loved the colors on it, and it is definitely something that I would like to get stitched for this coming fall. We'll see if that happens. We'll see. I picked up a couple of other patterns. I got one by Shakespeare's Peddler. This is an older one. But I stitched the antique keys, and now this is the antique scissors and spools. So I need to get this stitched to go with my other one. And on the back it looks like there's baskets and birds and teacups. So I could end up with quite a collection of those. Then I picked up two by Erica Michaels. One is Stitch All the Things, which you can either stitch as the pin pillow here or as a strawberry. And everyone's doing the strawberries this year. And the other one was a market release, chocolate or coffee. And there are 4 patterns in here. There's the one for coffee, there's the one for chocolate, and then there's 2 strawberries. But they're not using these designs, they're using different patterns on them. What to do? What to do? But the last one I got, I'm a child of the 60s and the 70s. And I know that when I say this, a lot of you will know exactly who I'm talking about, but here I come, walking down the street. Get the funniest looks from everyone we meet. Daydream Believer. And the monkeys, for those of you who don't know. And if I stuck that earworm in your head, yeah, I did it on purpose. Anyway, I had to get this pattern. I love the song Daydream Believer. I love so much about the monkeys. It's just ridiculous. But when I opened it up and I was looking at the inside page here, it says the model was stitched by my friend Colleen on 40 count. No, I'm not doing that. I did buy some fabric while I was up there, and I think it's plenty big to do that. It is a needle bling linen 32 count called Ween Beans. That's W-E-E-N beans. Ween Beans. So I think that that will look good on that. So I haven't really been doing a lot of stitching these last couple of weeks because, well, I did finish a couple of projects that week, but that weekend I went shopping with my granddaughter Rowan, and this happened. It is the latest book by Diana Gabaldon. It is Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone. 888 pages. I'm on 318. Jamie, Claire, oh my God. I love reading this. But then I also went back to reading another Harry Potter fan fiction on my phone, so that's what I read at work. I'm not supposed to be reading anything at work, but you know, oops. I try to get away with it. I'm old and I'm broken and they just have to let me be. So anyway, I have been reading and then I started organizing. You have to tell me that I'm not the only one that does this. So I've been finishing some projects, and as I would finish them, I would bring them upstairs and I would go into the crafting bureau and I take the pattern out of the project bag and I set it to the side, and I'd take the floss out of the project bag and I'd set it in a pile on the table in there, and I'd put any floss bling or floss cards away that I had, and then I'd put the project bag away, but that floss would just sit there. And then I'd come upstairs with the next completed project and I would repeat the same thing until all of a sudden I have this pile of floss that has just multiplied like triples. It just multiplied. So I decided one evening that I had to start cleaning that up, and that got me on a whole organizational, it must be spring cleaning, I don't know. It must be spring cleaning. But I came up here and I'd shown you how I'd been taking the floss drops from the Great Floss Drop Trade and putting my Weeks Dye Works and my Gentle Arts on them. Well, I continued to do that because some of the floss that was in that pile there was Weeks or Gentle Arts, along with a whole bunch of DMC. And then I started organizing the rest of my fancy flosses, and I don't have a tremendous amount of fancy floss. I'm going to try to include a picture of that at the end of my video too, of how I have them hanging on the wall in the crafting bureau. But I got that organized, and then I had the challenge of organizing the DMC. Well, I have my DMC in, I bobbinate them, and I put them in the trays. And those trays I have in a box that my husband used to have out in the shop that held his 12 by 12 sheets of sandpaper. And I've seen similar boxes like that that people have used for 12 by 12 sheets of crafting paper. Well, those floss box trays fit perfectly in their side to side. They're too short to fit in the full depth of each section. So Mark put a block behind them that just holds them out so they're all flush with the front of the box. That's all the bobbinated flosses. Then I have two drawers that have boxes in them that have all the unbobbinated floss. And I was sitting here going through all these flosses and a ring of them that I had taken down from where I hang them on the wall. It was a 2-night project to get my floss organized. But I didn't stop there, because now that I've got the crafting bureau mostly cleaned up of all the floss that was out and about, I was looking at other stuff. And I ended up organizing all the ribbons. And then I organized my journals that I have in there, and it was organizing. You go with it, right? Well, then I looked at the bed that's in the crafting bureau. And on it is the wall hanging that I had Jolynn from Acorns and Threads finish for me, of the embroidered piece that Marlene, stitching at the lake, had sent to me. Stitching by the lake. And I've been thinking about doing this for a long time, but in my bedroom I have an armoire, the old television armoire that we had downstairs. and I've always wanted to use it for more storage area. That is so weird. My camera just flashed this weird thing. I may have a ghost in the camera. I don't know. We'll see if it shows up on the video. Anyway, I've been wanting to use the armoire in the bedroom as a place to store my linens and my aidas. And my friend Lori, textilist, showed me this when I was down visiting at her house. She hangs all of hers on pant hangers in a closet. So they take up a lot less space. I have a drawer in the dresser over here that is just full, but it's really hard to find anything in there because you have to take everything out to find anything. So it's going to be an ongoing project, and I'll share it with you when I get it done. But my plan is to get all the stuff moved out of that drawer, to move it into my bedroom. I'm probably going to have to iron. I don't like ironing. But I want to get my floss hung up, I'm thinking by count and color range. So I haven't been doing a lot of stitching, but I do have some finishes. So when I was up at the Beehive, I had taken with me my wool project that I've shared some of these with you before. This is Buttermilk Basin. This is the Spooky Pillows. I am having issues with the camera today. It's been doing some strange things. While I was recording the first part of my video, it stopped, and on my screen it flashed something that I couldn't see what it was. It's when I commented that there might be a ghost in the camera. And then when I was showing the project that I was working on, or sharing with you, the image on my display screen went upside down. It's never done that before. So I stopped, went downstairs, and watched that to see if I could figure out what was going on. Had Mark look at the camera, and the thing of it is everything looked just fine watching it, so we'll see what happens. But I was, if I can find where I've put things, I was sharing with you the project that I had been working on when I was up at the Beehive. This is Buttermilk Basin Spooky Pillows. I've made all 5 of them now. The ones that I took up there to work on this last time that I was there was the haunted house. And this is on orange wool, the black felt for the haunted house. And what I did is I used General Arts Ruby Slipper, and I did a random blanket stitch around the outside of it. You know how sometimes when you look at an older house, how the siding has lifted a little bit and there's gaps in it? Well, that's kind of what I was trying to mimic with this floss. It's a variegated floss. It's kind of a rust colored, so it blended with the background fabric. But I like the way that it looks. And then I used General Arts Black Iron Skillet for the windows. And I did long stitches, but I didn't like the way they were laying there, so I went back in and I just caught each cross with a half stitch. And I'm really, really tickled with how this one turned out. Which meant then I was left with my last one to do, which is the pumpkin, or the jack-o'-lantern actually. And I used the same ruby slipper to do the stitches on this, and now I have all 5 of them done. There is still wool in here for finishing the back of these, so the pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern, the haunted house, the ghosts. It was a ghost. I made it multiple ghosts, the witch's hat, and the cauldron. So, my next question, and I know I'll be going up and asking Anna for her help with that too. I've never stitched pillows with wool before. Normally, when I stitch a small pillow, I leave my seam on the bottom edge, and that's where I turn it and I stuff it, and then I hand sew it together. My question is do I do these the same way, or do I stitch them all the way around and cut through the wool on the back and turn and stuff them and then patch it? So, any advice would be appreciated. See, now I get to go empty this one and start my pile of floss in the crafting burrow all over again. When I was rewatching this video to find out why the heck I was flipped upside down, which never showed up on the video itself, I realized that I forgot to share the things that Janine gave us when we were up at the Beehive. You know, she is a busy lady. She's just got back from market and she has her shop to run and to organize and all the various things. She went to market. And she gave each of us a floss drop card, threads that bind, Blackbird Designs, with this beautiful Moda fabric on the back. She gave us a free pattern that was handed out at market from Romy Creates. It's called Bloom. And what this is it's two little designs. They're less than 40 by 40, or they are 40 by 40, but the bottom one is the pot and the top one is the tulips. And you stitch them and then connect them with ribbon in between so you've got the tulips coming out of the pot. I like that, and I have an idea in mind for this to go in my flower frog display that I've shared with you before. She gave us a free chart from the Blue Flower. I had been watching Janine's video, Janine McGowan's video, when she shared that she had made this one, and it was like, oh, I have to have it. It was on my list to pick up when I went to Acorns and Threads. This is her little free one called, it's violas. I love violas. I just think that they are so pretty and so gorgeous. I went out the other day and I bought 6 pots of them to get planted out in my garden, and I need to do that, but it's been cold and wet outside the last couple of days, so that's not going to happen right away. Fortunately, it's wet outside, so they're getting watered. And then she brought us another freebie from Teresa Kogut. This is the Let Love Reign Amongst Nations. It's a 2-page design, but it's got 2 great big houses on it. And I don't really want to stitch houses. But it's a beautiful design, and the center part of it may be something that I stitch into a small. So I wanted to make sure that I included those and say thank you, Janine, for bringing them to us. Okay. Giveaways from my last video. I had patterns that I wanted to pass along. I finished Baltimore. I dropped it off at Acorns and Threads for Jolynn to finish for me. And this was put up to pass along. Like I said, the patterns in these have been abused. I have folded them. I have used highlighter on them. They're still usable, but they've been abused. And Linda Craig is the one whose name was drawn. And Linda, I have your address, so I will get those out in the mail to you this week. The other one that I was passing along is Trio by Mill Hill, compilation with Jim Shore. And I said that whoever got that would get the 2 little buttons that go with it. I think you can see them here and here. I decided not to put them on, but I had them, so I will be sending those along. And the person whose name came up for that was Jacqueline Liebfried. I don't have your address, so I commented on your comment. Please send me an email. It's listed down below, and I listed it in my comment. Or message me on Instagram with your address so that I can get those mailed out to you. And the one that I was doing for giveaway was From the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. It was the Fairy Garden Needlebook. And this one is going to Carol? Carl. C-A-R-Y-L. Meinard. Carol Meinard. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Please correct me. I do not have your address. I commented on your comment. Please email me or send me a message on Instagram. I don't know what it is about recording videos, but I say words wrong, or I forget them completely, or I can't pronounce them, or everyone else has itchy nose. I have mouthous interruptus. There you go. I have another finish. This was the primitive hair from the 2021 cross stitch calendar, Beltane. I stitched this on a 32 count vintage country mocha, and that is my finish on Beltane. I love this. I'm not a seamstress. I can sew. I have an idea for how I would like to put the fabric together. I want to make this one a folded flat fold mount. I can't, words. Mounted flat fold? I don't know. What am I trying to say? Yell louder. Anyway, I have an idea for how I want to do the fabric on the back of this. I'm going to try. I don't want to give any of my quilting friends any ideas. Stop snickering. I will find you. I know where you live. But here again is more floss to start a new pile in there and to let it grow like tribbles. Okay. I think. Nope, I still have more in my bag. I've done a little bit more stitching on my sunflower seeds for Ukraine. This was the pattern from the Witch's Garden. She was raising money to send to the Ukraine for relief. And I'm stitching it on a 22 count even weave 2/1. I finally got the word grow in the right spot. It took 3 tries. When I was up at the Beehive, I was still unpicking all of this. But I've got grow done. I've got the sunflower here. I'm working on a couple of little pots on either side there. And then I will be down to the very bottom of the pattern. So I'm excited to get this one worked on. And I have others that are starting to call my name and want to be worked on. What I'm trying to do is I am trying to go back and take the projects that I carried forward from before 2022. I had I had Baltimore, which I started in 2019. It got finished. And I had Trio, which was started in 2020, and it got finished. Where's my journal? I need my journal. So the next one that I pulled out to start working on was Frogwarts, which I started of June last year. This is the Black Needle Society's Frogwarts Year 2 sampler. And I had started working on this during the online retreat. This is as far as I have gotten. I posted a picture of this on Instagram the other day that I was working on the car, the Weasley's car, the Ford Anglia. In the pattern, the steering wheel is on the American side. So since this is a British car, I just moved it back over to this side. You can't really see it unless you're looking at it up close. But I got the car finished. And on the pattern next to it is the Weasley's house. And we know how much I enjoy houses. Oh my gosh. But then I came over here and I started working on the camera here. Colin Creevy's camera. Now, I knew that I had made a mistake in here because if you look at the pattern itself, you've got the basilisk down here, and then there's the band, which is supposed to represent the spine cover on the books, and then there's the saying underneath it. Help will always be available to those. Help will always be available at Hogwarts to those who ask for it. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do that across there or not because somewhere in the basilisk, this is a stitch higher than this one. When I was working on the camera, I realized what it is. Right down here, I missed one row. Am I going to pick out all that of the basilisk? No. No, I am not. So my camera is going to be touching the pipes, and I'm good with that. I haven't decided if I'm going to add an extra row underneath here or if I'm just going to go off of this one here when I put that band in, because I think I am going to do it. So it's getting close. I have the house to finish. I have several of those things that I don't like to stitch in here. I have a flobber worm to stitch up there. I have to finish the camera, stitch the band and the words underneath. That's not much, really. But that's my plan, is if I can pull out one of my older projects, get some stitching done on that, get them progressing, then I can go ahead and I can start another small. I really want to stitch this one. I was watching Helen D. She did another tutorial. That lady is good. That lady is so good. But she was doing cube finishes for the hands-on designs patterns that are the little square pin cushions. And I wondered if there's any way that I could do that with this. I mean, it's a square finish. I'm wondering if I can figure out how to stitch a band of the violas around the side, and then the bottom wouldn't have to be stitched at all, and make a similar finish like that. It's like, ideas. But how will they work? I don't know. The other thing is, because this is square, it'd be perfect for a biscornu. But I want to try one of those block finishes because I liked the look of that. I wanted to share some happy mail with you. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. Wonderful happy mail. I got a card from my friend Kim. Just popping up with a happy howdy do. cute little rodent in a teacup. I think it's a gerbil. Might be a hamster. I don't know. I don't know. But in it, she sent me, let's see if I can get all these held up. She sent me some sari silks. Look at the colors on these. Oh my gosh. Absolutely, totally stunning, beautiful. This peacock green and blue, and there's purples and there's reds, and thank you. Thank you so much, Kim. I had been running out of my sari silks. I was going to go order some more, and you have given me so many. Look at the colors on this. Yummy. So yummy. And then Sunday night, I got another package. No address on this side. So I opened it up, and here's this beautiful envelope inside. On the back is a sticker. And I opened this up, and my jaw dropped. I got a thank you card. That's right, look up at this. I got a thank you card that is smaller than the size of my hand. This is from Nancy. The N is for Nancy. A wonderful little note in there. And then I opened up what was in the envelope, and this totally blew me away. She made me a little journal out of some paper bags. This is seriously, this is so wonderful. We've got the front there. You open it up, and we have the next page here. And there's a pocket here that says hope on this little round circle with some eyelash trim. A picture in there with a little sticker on here that has an A. The next page has a definition of memory with some buttons around it. Turn the page, and now you have the bottom of the bag, which there is a key here, and when you fold it open, there's the lock. I love this. Love this so much. The next page has some material on it, and a little tag in there that says Inspire. Again, it has a drawer. It has the opening of the bag that has a tag in it. Has an image of the world there. You make the world a better place. Thank you. I don't think that I do, but thank you. Inside here are some little stamps, stamped stamps. Obviously, I've got another flap here to look under. And there's a little guy under there. Here's the next page. I love this. The moon with glasses on. And I love this little doily here. There is another opening here with a tag in there. And then this back page. The kindness you show has no end. And then another little flip out to look there. And the back, snail mail, worth the wait. Now the reason that I held that one last tag back, if you've watched me for a while, you know about Not My Cat McGonagall. I haven't seen him for several months now. I know he lives right behind me, and I'm hoping that because of the winter months that he's been nice and warm and curled up in his people's house. But she sent this tag, which has got this silly little kitty here on the front of it. and on the back of it, some paw prints. And it says, "Not my cat, McGonagall." Nancy, I love this so much. So much. Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for creating and sharing with me this wonderful, wonderful little piece. Thank you, Kim, for sending me the Sorry Silks. Thank you to everybody who has watched and liked and commented and subscribed and all those things. Sending me things has never been a requirement, and I have been so blessed over the last 4.5 years to meet so many people in person, to receive messages and gifts and happy mail, and thank you. Thank you so very, very much. With that, I think I am finally done with this video today. I'm going to go try to get it all together. I'm going to try to get the pictures included. We'll see. Live long and stitch on, my friends. Bye-bye. Okay, this is the wall in my crafting bureau, and I had found this sign a couple of years ago at a sale, and this is where I hang my fancy floss. So I have some Glorianas, I have some petite treasure braids, I have some random silks. The next one is a variety of different flosses. These are all my Weeks Dye Works. These are all my General Arts. These are random flosses and some pearl threads, pearl cottons. This is the cupboard that I use for storing my bobbinated DMCs. And down below it, the top 2 drawers are what I have my boxed DMCs in. And some finishes there. But this is what I wanted to show you. I really do not have a lot of fancy floss, but it's all organized now. It's all on book rings. They all have As the Yo Fly bling on them. Just wanted to share that with you. Want to see what my desk looks like after a video? It was clean. And wait, there's more. There's that. And then that. And then there's that. And that. The desk was organized. What can I say?